14 states, 85 districts, 6,200 kilometers. Bharat Jodo is now Bharat Nyay Yatra.
All India Congress Committee has decided to hold a Bharat Nyay Yatra from January 14 to March 20th.
Congress's big 2024 Yatra amid Mandir Rumble. Rahul's Bharat Nyay Yatra. Top focus at 6 p.m. prime.
Good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and this evening we're going to be talking about Congress's 2024 plan. Even as there's so much talk of the Ram Mandir, the countdown is on to the inauguration of the Mandir, the Congress has announced what their 2024 game plan is going to be, and it is Bharat Jodo 2.0, termed this time as Bharat Nyay Yatra. Rahul Gandhi will be embarking on this yatra, which is not necessarily on foot but also by bus from Manipur to Mumbai. We're going to get you all the details of how this yatra will move forward and what's the Congress's strategy. A look at the headlines first. Another Indian Neta to join Ram Mandir event boycott brigade. Mamta likely to skip consecration ceremony on January 22nd. TMC may not even send any representative to Ayodhya. Mega Ram Mandir exclusive on India Today. Gaurav Sawant gets you the first view of the Mandir complex with weeks to go for the mega inauguration.
22nd of January, that's where the consecration of the temple or the idol of Lord Ram or Ram Lala, a 5-year-old child Ram, will be installed here at the temple.
Politics peaks over Home Minister CAA warning after Amit Shah called CAA law of land. TMC and Congress hit out. Question why the CAA is only in opposition ruled states. Muslim League Jammu Kashmir, the Masrad Alam faction, which has been involved in anti-national activities, banned by centre for 5 years under UAPL. Language row reignites in Karnataka after pro-Kannada activists go on a rampage in Bengaluru, blackening English posters, billboards and nameplates. Bengaluru top cop assures that security will be ramped up. And Rajnath Singh visits Poonch Rajouri sector. Defence Minister gives a stern message on civilian killings, says it's also the responsibility of the army to win hearts of the people. So the Congress has now announced Bharat Jodo Yatra 2.0, or rather the Bharat Nyay Yatra, where Rahul Gandhi will travel from Manipur to Mumbai, a total distance of 6,000 plus kilometers. Now, while the Bharat Jodo Yatra, you had Rahul Gandhi essentially talking about changing his image, reaching out to people and all of that. Again, it's going to be more of that ahead of the 2024 elections. This time around, he's not going to be covering the entire distance by foot, but will also be traveling by bus. But the idea is the same. The Congress is saying we're going to reach out to the people. But in this case, it's not about Bharat Jodo. It's about Nyay. He's going to very symbolically start this yatra from Manipur. Let's get you all the details first in this report.
Rahul Gandhi's much talked about Bharat Jodo Yatra is set to make a comeback in the mega election year of 2024. But in a new avatar. This time it will be called the Bharat Nyay Yatra.
भारत जोड़ो यात्रा के बाद अब राहुल गांधी जी के नेतृत्व में भारत न्याय यात्रा 14 जनवरी से लेकर 20 मार्च तक 14 राज्यों से गुजरेगी.
This yatra will cover a distance of 6,200 kilometers. This yatra is covering 14 states and 85 districts with the great experience from the first Bharat Jodo Yatra, Congress party is expecting this Bharat Nyay Yatra is going to be also a most historic yatra of this country.
Led by Rahul Gandhi, the Bharat Nyay Yatra will stretch from Manipur in the east to Mumbai in the west, covering 14 states and 85 districts. It will commence on January 14th, with Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge flagging it off from Imphal. The yatra will span around 6,200 kilometers and is scheduled to conclude on March 20th.
Rahul Gandhi ji, who has led a yatra which is Bharat Jodo Yatra from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, has made a big impact and regenerated the Congress party in the north to south yatra, and this is going to be a east to west yatra. Therefore, this yatra is also a very important yatra.
मुबारक हो, भारत जोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वतन को एक करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। ये जो नफरतें मजहबों में शुरू कर दी है, इनको खत्म करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इसमें क्यों नहीं शामिल?
While the Bharat Jodo Yatra helped Congress gain traction and virality, its impact in the recently concluded assembly elections was limited. This time too, the BJP is dismissive, terming the yatra Bharat Jodo Yatra.
Criticizing India, which Rahul Gandhi ji regularly does, perhaps on his advice, is also seen by the people of India. Mr. Rahul Gandhi going abroad and asking for foreigners to interfere in India's democracy has also been seen by it. And most importantly, Mr. Sam Pitroda, if my memory is correct, is the person who on the 1984 by-election said, so what? So this is the sum and substance of Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his core advisors. And the people of India see all of it and have consistently given their stamp of disapproval against the Congress party, its advisors and its leadership.
The BRS, which is also eyeing a national role, has called the revamped yatra a stunt by Rahul Gandhi.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi continuously keeps making a lot of statements about Bharat Jodo Yatra, where he is constantly trying to unite the nation, etc. Now looks like a PR stunt, because otherwise Mr. Rahul Gandhi should have stood up, spoken when comments were made on Sanatan Dharma, hurting crores of Hindu sentiments in this nation.
Will this yatra help Congress on the crucial road to 2024 elections? With Mausami Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
And let's get you all the latest political reactions coming in on the Congress's announcement of the Bharat Nyay Yatra, which will start in just a few weeks from now. You've got the BJP dismissing any sort of impact of the Bharat Nyay Yatra, with the likes of Anurag Thakur and Giriraj Singh lashing out at the Congress and particularly mocking Rahul Gandhi. Anurag Thakur, in his comment now, has questioned how the Congress can ensure Nyay, saying very clearly that these are people who divide India, and also taking a taunt there at the Bharat Jodo Yatra and what it really did within the country. Let's play out for you those reactions from both Union Minister Anurag Thakur as well as Giriraj Singh.
मैं इतना ही कहूँगा, जो टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग के सदस्यों को शामिल करते हों, जो भारत को क्षेत्र और जातिवाद में बांटने का काम करते हों, वो न्याय क्या दिलाएंगे? जिनके अपने राज्य में 84 के दंगे हुए हों और कई वर्षों तक सिखों के इस दंगों को न्याय नहीं दिला पाए, उनके लिए भी एसआईटी की जांच नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार ने की। मैं इतना ही कहूँगा कि जनता इनका असली चेहरा जान चुकी है, जो भगवान राम को काल्पनिक बताते हैं, जिनके अपने अलायंस पार्टनर सारे एक के बाद दूसरा सनातन धर्म को नीचा दिखाने का काम करता है, हिंदू को अपमानित करने का काम करता है, और यही नहीं, एक के बाद दूसरा इनका नेता बार बार एक से दूसरा हल्का बयान कर रहे हैं। क्या यही राजनीति इनके लिए रह गई है?
वो न्याय यात्रा निकालें, पार्थ यात्रा निकालें, ज्ञान यात्रा निकालें, ये जो यात्रा निकालना हो वो यात्रा निकाल लें, अच्छा हो ज्ञान यात्रा निकाल लें।
All right, let's bring in Maushmi Singh on this broadcast, who tracks the Congress closely for us. Maushmi, explain to us the timing that's been chosen for Bharat Nyay Yatra. There's been quite a bit of speculation that it would be launched very soon, that the Congress High Command was figuring out details, the schedule, which seats to cover, etc. But right now, with the dates being released, there are questions about whether the Congress is kind of trying to counter the BJP's Ram Mandir narrative with this kind of a mega Bharat Nyay Yatra.
Right, Akshita. As far as the timing of the yatra is concerned, perhaps the Congress could have had it a bit earlier, as was the buzz after the Bharat Jodo Yatra Part 1, that this one would soon follow. But then assembly elections happened, and in Himachal and in Karnataka, Congress got a thumping victory against the BJP. So somewhere, the Congress in the cadre and leaders really felt that the party was in full mood, and it had got its act together, and it was buzzing and had found the right notes as far as winning the voters' hearts are concerned. But with the recent drubbing in the assembly elections, the morale of the party was low. And yes, with the inauguration of the Ram temple on the cards, and the BJP, the party feeling could reap rich dividends out of that by drumming up religious sentiments, the Congress really felt the need of a mass contact program at this point of time. And even as Mallikarjun Kharge would actually give a green signal to this yatra, the face would be Rahul Gandhi yet again. So perhaps also a message to the alliance partners that if they have to join in the yatra, it will be with Rahul Gandhi, and it could probably be a reach out to its allies.
So let's see if this is just a Congress yatra or if it becomes an India bloc yatra, because in many of the states, like in West Bengal, it'll be interesting to see if maybe a Mamata Banerjee joins Rahul Gandhi on his yatra. Just to compare for our viewers right now, how much really the Bharat Jodo Yatra really covered versus the Bharat Nyay Yatra. The Bharat Jodo Yatra was, of course, south to north and covered just about 4,080 kilometers. We'll just put that out on our screens as well. And you can see, of course, that the path that it took, Rahul Gandhi did focus a lot on the south. It did make a big difference also in the Congress's campaign, because for many of the state leaders, Rahul Gandhi's presence there did kind of ensure that they could kind of reap the benefits of the positive response that the yatra reached in the south. The jury's still out on what really did in the north. If you look at the assembly elections, not really much of an impact, but in the general elections and east to west, there's a question mark on that. Essentially 4,080 kilometers that was covered in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Now they've rebranded it as the Bharat Nyay Yatra, and in that, east to west, you're going to see, starting from Manipur, several states being covered. And let's put that out as well for our viewers. From east to west, you'll have, starting from Manipur, you'll have several northeast states, Nagaland, Assam, and several others being covered. It's much bigger than what the original Bharat Jodo Yatra was. This is about 6,000 plus kilometers that will be covered by Rahul Gandhi. Also a very different form of yatra. Yes, it's going to be with reaching out to the people, as Rahul Gandhi is known to do with the Bharat Jodo Yatra. In this case, they're also talking about Rahul taking a bus and traveling in several parts to ensure that they cover a lot more distance, a lot more states as well. I'd also like to, at this point, bring in my colleague Preeti Chaudhary on this broadcast to talk about the impact of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Preeti, good evening. In the Bharat Jodo Yatra, 4,000 kilometers covered. We did see an impact of it in the southern states. In the assembly election, you look at Karnataka, Telangana, it did work for Rahul Gandhi. He also created this image of being someone who's, rooted to the ground, speaks to people, reaches out to all of them. What do you think really will be the messaging that they're attempting to reach with Bharat Nyay Yatra? And do you see it having an impact really on 2024? Because many of these states that they've chosen, the Congress doesn't have that much of a presence if you look at their Lok Sabha numbers.
Well, that's what the main point is, at least where the think tank of the Congress is concerned. It is to cut this yatra through the Hindi heartland. And we saw what went down in the Hindi heartland seats in the 5 state elections, where they've lost Madhya Pradesh, they've lost Chhattisgarh, they've lost Rajasthan. And one of the main reasons, now the CWC for a very long time has been of the opinion, because they were very clear that the Bharat Jodo Yatra was a success for them. And they wanted a Bharat Jodo Yatra 2.0 to be carried out, especially right before elections. The counter to that was even within the CWC members, and even someone like Rahul Gandhi had raised apprehensions because it comes very close to the general election. So the reason of the timing, that it starts on the 10th January and it wraps up by the 10th of March, is mainly that after that it's all in when it comes down to the general state elections. Even in this, it's going to be a hybrid yatra. What's the difference between a Bharat Jodo to a Bharat Nyay Yatra? Of course, other than the demography and the topography of the yatra, which is completely diametrically different. It remains to be seen what is the kind of response that Rahul Gandhi gets when he enters the Hindi heartland. The reason why it's starting from Manipur, one of the main reasons why it's named as the Bharat Nyay Yatra, Manipur has been an issue that the Congress has been very big on, and that didn't quite resonate, in the state elections of Mizoram, because the neighboring state did not, the BJP did better than the Congress, interesting in that aspect. But having said that, Akshita, what will be really interesting, because it starts on the 10th of January. 22nd of January is the inauguration of the Ram temple. And by the time, that's the yatra where it will be entering Uttar Pradesh. So, in a way, it's also the Congress's attempt to try and draw certain eyeballs. Uttar Pradesh has been the weakest link for the Congress. And there is, a thought, and a very clear thought, that, earlier on, there was a division. One side of the Congress said we need to focus completely on the South and maximize the South in terms of in numbers. In
but
states,
it won't be enough,
exactly. So while the other one, and then do the carpet bombing of not the entire state, but certain seats when it came down to the Hindi heartland. But they do realize that to win an election or even get close to the 100 or 125 mark seats that the Congress would be aiming for in this election, just where the Congress comes into question, it needs to do well in the Hindi heartland. And why it's got a little bit of a fillip is, Akshita, if you look at it, Rajasthan, it wasn't expecting to do as well as they did, where the internal surveys of the Congress were concerned. I'm not talking about exit polls. So the kind of numbers it's got, it's hoping, and these are states which maximized for the BJP. BJP took 25 out of 25 where the state of Rajasthan is concerned, 25 out of 25 where Gujarat is concerned. So for the Congress, even if it manages to get 1 or 2 odd seats in the state, it's a plus. In a state like Uttar Pradesh, there was a complete rout of the Congress. There is also talk at this point of time that possibly a Priyanka Gandhi or a Rahul Gandhi will, fight an election from the Hindi heartland. Earlier on there's indication, will Priyanka take a safe seat in the south? Because these are all speculations. But if the Gandhi, family needs to matter, it needs to once again build space for at least one of the Gandhis in the Hindi heartland, which is a state like Uttar Pradesh. So interesting. I just want to watch what goes down when the yatra enters the state of Uttar Pradesh and the Ram Mandir inauguration is on, and you have the yatra simultaneously going through,
it's an interesting strategy. Could backfire also.
Completely.
So, it's been interesting to see whether it's a gamble that's essentially paying off for the Congress. Maushmi, I'll just come to you for a quick question on that as well, about the route that the Congress has decided on and the states that have been chosen. Okay, we'll get Maushmi back in just a bit. In the meanwhile, let me get you the numbers of the seats that, in fact, Rahul Gandhi will be covering as part of the Bharat Nyay Yatra and part of this route map of course, 6,000 plus kilometers. Let's take you through, in fact, how the Congress has fared in many of these states. First, of course, in Manipur, there are 2 Lok Sabha seats. Congress has 0, Nagaland 1, Congress has 0. In 14 of Assam seats, you've got, in fact, 3 seats with the Congress. Let's put that number and that graphic out on our screens right now. For our viewers. All right, I'll just put it out for you, the data, in just a bit. In Meghalaya, there are 2 seats the Congress has won. So these are, in fact, states in which the Congress hopes to do better. Look for an example at a Bihar. Out of 40 Lok Sabha seats, the Congress had just 1. In Bengal, out of 42, the Congress won just 2 in 2019. So these are states, obviously, where the Congress will want to do much better. Preeti was referring to Uttar Pradesh, 1 seat there, but the Congress there out of 80. So that's a big, big difference there. And we'll put out those numbers for our viewers as well. It's interesting to see, Preeti, that the Congress is taking the chance. They're saying that, look, we're identifying our weak points. We're going to go ahead and work on that as well. there were many who said that Congress really shied away from doing that earlier. Do you see a change or a tweak in strategy, at least on that front?
But many would also say that it's come too late because, if it's coming in the fag end of a campaign, will it be enough is the big question. There have been people within the Congress, they've like many of them say, that the canary has been singing in the mines for a while and they had to do this a while ago and that hasn't quite happened.
Maybe not momentum, but what about, ensuring that on the ground you've got everyone talking and having at least a counter to the Ram Mandir narrative now?
No, it's audacious for them now finally to push it. It's a 90-day yatra, which is, it's a 90-day yatra cutting through 14 states, across, number of districts. It's not easy game. So it's going to be difficult and they need to wrap it up before March because all these people who are going to be involved in this yatra ultimately need to fight elections. They need to be back in their constituencies right before the final push, between March and April is concerned. So they have to wrap it up. It's a 90-day, yatra. But on that front, with what you pointed out, look at, states, that one seat which the Congress got in Uttar Pradesh, that's Rai Bareli, that's Sonia Gandhi. Now what else will you be able to get where Uttar Pradesh is concerned? It's 80 seats and nothing where the Congress comes into question.
And there's pressure also for Priyanka Gandhi to directly take on Prime Minister Modi in Varanasi.
That's been mooted by the likes of Mamata Banerjee, but I don't see that happening because, what happens is there's a thought within the Congress which also seems to suggest that if you make this, a personality contest in Varanasi, it ties down Priyanka Gandhi. They want to use Priyanka Gandhi where the women vote is concerned, in a lot more states. So I don't see that happening, that contest. I don't see, that reaching to fruition. But away from that, what is really important, at least where the Congress think tank is concerned, and they're finally seeming to come about. It would be interesting to see what happens in a state like, West Bengal, because it is passing through West Bengal.
Correct.
Will there be seat sharing? Understandably, because now there is a deadline which has been set by the India Alliance. And if that seat sharing reaches fruition, then how much will the Congress get? And will the Congress be happy with that? Will Mamata Banerjee join in? What happens when it enters Bihar? Bihar is a place. If you look at it in... what they've done is they've identified 4 or 5 states. Akshita, Bihar is one of them. Karnataka, your state is one of them. Maharashtra is one of them. Rajasthan is one of them. These are states which they've identified with a clear. Madhya Pradesh is one of them, with a clear idea that they want to make inroads in these very states, and they want because these are the states where the BJP had maximized. Bihar is a state. Even pre-poll surveys seem to suggest that the BJP is losing ground, but on the other side, there are rumblings within the JDU. There's conspiracy theories that the JDU might
they can make the most of all of that. The question is whether the Yatra can really do that. But let's put out those numbers I was referring to earlier as well, of how the Congress has fared in many of the states that you're going to be seeing them go through essentially in this particular Yatra. All right, so those were the numbers of what happened in the Bharat Jodo Yatra and all of the Lok Sabha seats that were covered then, 350 plus Lok Sabha seats that were covered by Rahul Gandhi then. They'll be hoping that the impact of that is felt in 2024 and, of course, with the Bharat Nyay Yatra as well. I'm slipping into a very short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. Coming up on the other side, we'll get you images of Rahul Gandhi's meeting with protesting wrestlers. He met with Bajrang Punia, was seen also getting into wrestling bout with him. We'll get you those images in just a bit.
India, as you know, is a land of diversity, where countless stories are born every day. A brand that has celebrated the rich mosaic of our country, India Today, is the brand that has been covering stories from all spheres of life from across the country tirelessly, making sense of the myriad India and the Indians residing in here. The story of India Today and the story of my latest film, Donkey, which is inspired by the phenomenal dreams and struggles of the same Indians and is a story about love and friendship filled with humor and heart.
हमने मजबूरी में अपना घर छोड़ा था, वरना कोई अपना देश, अपना परिवार, अपने दोस्तों को छोड़कर क्यों जाएगा सरहदों पे गोली खाने?
While my film Donkey symbolizes the struggle of many who leave home and their loved ones behind in the hope for a better life, they miss their homeland in this tough bargain. But it's their spirit that helps them carry on. India Today has been capturing the indomitable spirit of being an Indian for over 5 decades now. India Today, making sense to India, making sense of India.
जो भी इस प्रकार के बात बोले, स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य बोले या इंडी गठबंधन के, महागठबंधन के कोई नेता बोले, धर्म का मतलब समझते ही नहीं। समाज धर्म क्या होता है, परिवार धर्म क्या होता है, देश धर्म क्या होता है, समझते ही नहीं। उनका विचार ही बिल्कुल तुष्टीकरण के आधार पर है और वह तुष्टीकरण सिर्फ और सिर्फ सत्ता और वोट के लिए।
देखिए, जो सनातन धर्म है वो हिंदू धर्म है। इनको क्या बोलता है स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य को कि किसी धर्म का, किसी जाति का, किसी का भी अपमानजनक बात न कहें, और फिर भी ये नहीं मानता है। और नहीं मानने के बाद जब उनकी भी बात नहीं मानता है, इसका मतलब है कि वह विरोधी है।
Welcome back. There's been a big showdown over wrestlers also taking on the government over the appointment of Brij Bhushan's aide as the Wrestling Federation of India chief. Now, since then, you've got the Congress siding with these wrestlers. And these are images from earlier today when you had Rahul Gandhi in Haryana meeting with Bajrang Punia, one of those wrestlers who's taken a stand against what's happened, against Brij Bhushan's aide's appointment as the WFI chief. And you see these images also that went viral of Rahul Gandhi interacting with these wrestlers, was in fact in the Akhada performing and practicing moves, was seen also having a meal with them. And while these pictures have gone viral, it's also symbolic because Rahul Gandhi is sending out a message that I stand with these wrestlers. The question is, of course, whether this can turn out to become a big agenda in the upcoming election, because the BJP has completely dismissed the allegation, saying a fair election was held and a new WFI chief was chosen. But these are pictures from earlier today of Rahul Gandhi interacting with Bajrang Punia and several other wrestlers.
हमारा जो रूटीन होता है ना रेसलिंग का, वो देखने के लिए आए हैं।
तो कोई खास बात हुई पहलवानों से?
वो बिल्कुल उनके माइक में, उनके चैनल पे या वो वीडियो बनाई
की उन्होंने?
हाँ, कुश्ती की उन्होंने,
जोर की, एक्सरसाइज की।
बिल्कुल।
आपके साथ किया?
मेरे साथ ही कर रहे थे।
तो क्या खास देखने आए थे वो जो आप लोगों के?
वो ये देखने आए थे कि भाई जो एक खिलाड़ी होता है उनका जीवन कैसे होता है, कि रेसलिंग का जीवन कैसे होता है, तो वो देखने के लिए आए थे।
लगभग यहाँ 6:15 बजे पहुँच गए थे।
क्या किया राहुल ने, क्या पूछा आप लोगों से, क्या क्या किया?
यहाँ एक्सरसाइज कैसे होती है, हमारे साथ एक्सरसाइज मिलके की, एक्सरसाइज की सारी उन्होंने अपने गेम के बारे में बताया हमारे को, और बड़ी खुशी हुई। उनको तो बहुत जानकारियाँ हैं, बहुत खेल के बारे में, जैसे जुजुत्सु वगैरह जो खेलते हैं, उनकी ब्लैक बेल्ट होल्डर हैं, उन्होंने हमारे साथ होल्ड करके दिखाया, बड़ा बढ़िया लगे।
तो कुश्ती के जोर भी किया?
कुश्ती के जोर भी किए, टेक्निक भी सीखी, ऑन पॉइंट भी कैसे लिए जाते हैं, कैसे होते हैं।
तो आपने कैसे स्वागत किया?
हमने तो स्वागत किया ऐसे ही, वैसे हम सामान्य कर रहे थे यहाँ, वो आगे
दूध बादाम
हाँ, दूध बादाम, उन्होंने रोटी खाई जी, बाजरे की रोटी खाई, दही और हरा साग खाया।
तो पहलवानों ने क्या बताया उन्हें, जो आज के जो प्रकरण पर भी बात हुई?
उस प्रकरण पर भी बात हुई उनकी।
क्या कब बताया आप लोगों ने, क्या कहा गलत हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है?
हमने कहा बहुत मानसिक परेशानी में झेल रहे हैं बच्चे, लड़कियां भी थी, लड़के भी थे, तो बहुत परेशानी में।
All right, with that, I'm slipping into a very short break. On the other side, a ground report from Shabirimala coming your way. Weeks ago, there was a controversy over these massive crowds and mismanagement at the Shabirimala shrine, even leading to an 11-year-old girl dying. And again, the focus is on mismanagement, as 1 lakh devotees came together, zero arrangements on ground, leading to these kind of images. We'll get you more on that and the reactions coming up in just a bit.
पर आप देख सकते हैं कि 2 पीठा जो चरण पादुका है यहाँ पर एक है, और अंदर की तरफ और एक चरण पादुका यहाँ पर रखा गया, जहाँ पर जो घर के लोग हैं, घर के निवासी है, वो यहाँ पर आरती करेंगे और यहाँ से लगभग इन्हीं तरह से जो छोटे छोटे घर हैं, कॉलोनी एरियाज है, हर किसी के घर में ये चरण पादुका जाएंगे और जिसके बाद यहाँ पर जो है यहाँ से अयोध्या के लिए ये चरण पादुका रवाना किए जाएंगे। बात करते हैं यहाँ के घर के निवासी से कि उनका क्या यहाँ पर कैसा वो महसूस कर रहे हैं कि उनके घर पर यहाँ पर जो है अभी यहाँ पर पूजा अर्चना चल रही है, पूजा कर रहे हैं घर के निवासी। और इसके बाद बात करेंगे कि कैसे महसूस कर रही है यहाँ के लोग जो इन कॉलोनी एरियाज में, इन घरों में अपने आप को कैसा महसूस कर रहे हैं। मैडम आपका
बहुत अच्छा, मेरा नाम लक्ष्मी है और सुबह से हम लोग ऐसी घर घर जा रहे और बहुत अच्छा है। ये तो भाग्यशाली हूँ मैं तो।
నాకు చాలా సంతోషంగా నా జన్మ సఫలమైంది నాకు ఇంతకన్నా భాగ్యం ఇంకేమీ లేదు।
तो ये मैडम ये बता रही हैं कि ये बहुत खुश है, बहुत जो है इमोशनल हो गई हैं, लेकिन इनका ये बताना है कि इस जो है सेवा में इनकी भूख प्यास का इनको अंदाजा नहीं रहता है, भूख प्यास नहीं लगती है इस सेवा में, तो बहुत ज्यादा खुश है और बहुत आनंदित महसूस कर रही है। कैमरा पर्सन दामोदर के साथ अब्दुल बशीर, हैदराबाद।
Welcome back. It's a peak pilgrimage season in Shabirimala, and every year at this time you see scores, lakhs of devotees coming together to offer their prayers at the Lord Ayyappa temple. This time around, however, we're seeing chaos playing out, and there are questions, allegations that the Kerala government, that the Vijayan government has simply not done enough to prepare for the kind of footfall that's expected usually in Shabirimala at this time. In the last few days, after 2 weeks of mismanagement, again it came to the focus as devotees, pilgrims said that they were struggling on ground. The main festival, which happens at Shabirimala, is expected to happen in a few days now, and questions loom on whether Vijayan government will be prepared or not.
Chaos at one of India's holiest sites. Weeks ago, these videos of lakhs of devotees struggling with lack of arrangements went viral. And clearly, nothing has changed as once again, shoddy arrangements led to chaos in Shabirimala. These videos from just a couple of days ago shows the rush at Shabirimala for the Mandala Puja, and while there's been record footfall of 25 lakh devotees having visited Shabirimala so far, the opposition is accusing the Vijayan government of not doing enough.
केरल के सरकार ने ऐसे कैलेस एटीट्यूड के साथ वहाँ के अरेंजमेंट्स किए हैं, ना पानी है, ना सैनिटेशन है, या लोगों को भीड़ को मैनेज करने के लिए कोई प्रबंध है।
Congress's Shashi Tharoor meanwhile also visited Pamba, and devotees were seen slamming the local administration over the arrangements made. During the pilgrimage season, the crowds are increasing and is all set to peak in just a few days from now, sparking questions on whether enough steps have been taken to manage the crowd.
പ്രധാന നട തുറക്കുമ്പോൾ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും കൂടുതൽ ഭക്തരെത്താൻ സാധ്യതയുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ അതനുസരിച്ചുള്ള സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ വർദ്ധിപ്പിക്കുന്നതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ഉദ്യോഗസ്ഥ തലത്തിൽ ചർച്ച നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
കുറേ അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ട്. കുറേ ഇപ്പോൾ നമുക്കറിയാം തമിഴ്നാട്, ആന്ധ്ര അങ്ങനെയുള്ള പ്രദേശങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നെത്തുന്നവർ ഈ തങ്കയങ്കി ദിവാലയത്തിന് വേണ്ടി കണ്ടേ ഇറങ്ങും എന്നുള്ളൊരു
താല്പര്യമുണ്ട് അവർക്ക്. ഇപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഇവരോട് അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കാനല്ലേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ, നമുക്ക് മറ്റെന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അപ്പോൾ പരമാവധി നമ്മൾ അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ അവരുടെ ഒരു താല്പര്യമാണ്. നമുക്ക് അവരെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമുക്കത് ശാസിക്കാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മറ്റു കാര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് നടന്നില്ല.
After the death of an 11-year-old just 2 weeks ago in Shabirimala due to the chaos and mismanagement, the Vijayan government had promised that all necessary steps would be taken.
ഇത് കുറച്ചു കാലമായി ഈ നിലയാണ്. തീർത്ഥാടകരുടെ എണ്ണം വലിയ തോതിൽ വർദ്ധിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം പൊതുവെ സ്വീകരിച്ചു വരുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോൾ കഴിഞ്ഞ മണ്ഡലകാലത്തിൻ്റെ ആദ്യ നാളുകളിൽ ശരാശരി 62,000 പേരായിരുന്നു.
What explains this chaos in Shabirimala, considering this is the peak pilgrimage season? The left government has denied all accusations of not making enough arrangements, but the videos tell quite another story.
With the massive crowd seen at Shabirimala over the last few days, the hope is that the government uses the next few days to ensure adequate arrangements on ground, as the crowd is only expected to swell in the upcoming Magaravalaku festival. With video journalist Tinku Rajshekhar, Shibimol KG for India Today from Thiruvananthapuram.
And let's get you also this story that came in from the outskirts of Chennai, from Ennore, which has seen an oil spill just about a week ago, has now also had to deal with a gas leak. This happened in fact, the wee hours of the day, when you had residents waking up complaining of a pungent smell in the air, resorting to uneasiness, difficulty in breathing. All of this because of an ammonia gas leak that took place in Ennore, which is in the outskirts of Chennai. Residents in a panic started to get out of their homes, started to rush out onto the streets. Many of them, almost dozens of them, were also hospitalized as they suffered, in fact, from difficulty in breathing because of the ammonia gas leak. What you also see on your screens there were the massive protests that then broke out against the private company that's based in Ennore. This is the Coromandel International Limited, which manufactures fertilizers and uses ammonia as a raw material. The Tamil Nadu government immediately took stock, with the health minister rushing to the site and has said that the government has taken cognizance and will act.
We are currently at such a location where on 26 around 11 p.m. there was a mass gas leak that led to nearly 35 to 40 people vomiting and fainting on this road stretch itself. This is the area where the gas leak occurred. This is what you see over here. In fact, the color of the sea itself has completely changed, and these two are the pipes that were taking the actual gas, that is ammonia gas, to a company called Coromandel that is on the other side of this road. In fact, people in this area claim that around yesterday night there was a huge gas leak over here, which was even visible to the eye, and they started taking visuals as well, and people in this area started fainting. And that tank over there, that is a tank that is supposed to store nearly 3,000 tons of ammonia, which is then used as a raw material in creating ammonium, potash, phosphate, sulfate, and that is a kind of a fertilizer that's being manufactured in that spot. And nearly 35 people are admitted to the hospital. They are undergoing treatment, and the people in this spot, they claim that nearly 50,000 people are over here, are now afraid. What if something happens, like there is a leak from that particular storage capacity tank or anything? What will happen to their life source? These are the questions that are being put forward by the people of Ennore, who have faced a third calamity in the month of December alone. Raghavan, Pramod Madhav for India Today. We find a widespread panic over here, and they're demanding that the plant should be shut down, sir.
Everything will be addressed by the government without fail. Everything will... See, government has taken note of all those things. Definitely everything will be addressed in time.
This is the third calamity Ennore is facing for this month alone.
That is a natural calamity. Now this is...
Oil spill is not
yes. That is also addressed. It is already gone. Almost everything is cleared now. Okay. Now this issue has come up, and the government has also taking a lot of action. It is already closed for a week, and the closure will be, they will have to submit the report, and then government will take final action.
11 மணியே போல வந்து காசிமேட்டுக்கு போட்டுக்கு போறவங்க போனாங்க பாட்டையில வந்த வழியில மூச்சு திணறலி மைக் அடிச்சு விழுந்துட்டு ஆட்டோக்காரர் வந்துதான் எங்களுக்கு தகவல் பண்ணாரு. பிறந்த குழந்தைல இருந்து 8 மாசம் குழந்தை கர்ப்பிணி பெண்ணுங்க இருந்து நைட் என்ன பண்றதுன்னு தெரியல. மக்கள் வீடு பூட்டுச்சா பூட்டலையா, அதாவது மூச்சு தள்ளி வெளியே வந்தா தொண்டை அரிச்சல கண்ணி அரிச்சல ஒண்ணுமே முடியல, என்ன பண்றதுன்னே தெரியல.
It's been a hard time for residents who've been facing one calamity after another. Let's focus on what's happening in Bengaluru. Unfortunate scenes in what's considered to be a global city. We've seen vandalism being reported as pro-Kannada activists took law into their own hands earlier today, going on a vandalizing spree against any store that had English signage. Their demand is that there should be Kannada boards, and this is in accordance with the local administration's diktat that said that 60% of the nameplates must be Kannada and then you can have other languages. So any shop that had English written dominantly, even if they had Kannada written in their signboards, was targeted, was vandalized by these pro-Kannada activists. Questions being asked right now of the government in Karnataka, of the police, on why they were caught napping when this kind of vandalization was happening in the heart of Bengaluru.
Shops vandalized, luxury stores attacked. Language activists rampage across the streets of Bengaluru days after the city's civic body slapped notices on commercial establishments to sport signages in Kannada. Karnataka Rakshana Vedika workers led by Narayana Gowda smashed glass doors and destroyed English signboards of multiple businesses in the IT city on Wednesday.
It is very disappointing that the commercial establishments are not following the law of the land, and also government is not ready to implement the order which is passed by the government itself.
Narayana Gowda, who was later detained, declared only those who have signboards in Kannada will be allowed to do business in Karnataka.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಮಾಡುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಳಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡ್ಡಾಯವಾಗಿ ಕನ್ನಡದ ನಾಮಫಲಕ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಕನ್ನಡವನ್ನ ಬಳಸಬೇಕು. ಕನ್ನಡ ಬಳಸಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ.
Karnataka Rakshana Vedike workers have now once again decided to take law into their own hands. They've come down to the Lavelle Street, which is one of the most busiest central business district places of Bangalore, and they've vandalized the most prominent shops over here, which contribute greatly, in fact, to Karnataka's economy. We have one of the most iconic fashion designer shops, Shantanu Nikhil. In fact, if you look at the image over there, the Shantanu Nikhil that is written in English, that has been taken down.
The violent protest by the KRB workers took the Bengaluru police by surprise. Authorities said they were not expecting such vandalism and assured tightened security. Earlier, Chief Minister Siddharamaiah had said that the establishments will have to comply with the Kannada signboard order before February 28. With Anagha Keshav in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
And unfortunately, this is the reality and what happens when you see ugly language politics that plays out. And it's not just in Bengaluru, Karnataka. We see this very often happening in Tamil Nadu. But reality essentially has struck that in a metropolitan city like that of Bengaluru, which has people coming in from across the country, coming together, you've got this kind of imposition and protests that are breaking out. All right, with that, I'm slipping into a short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. On the other side, we'll be talking about the cold wave that's gripped parts of North India. In the national capital too, it's led to hundreds of flights being delayed.
I'm worried about it because I see too much importance given to religion. I see that democracy is being undermined. When Prime Minister of a country for 10 years does not give a press conference, that bothers me. When everyone thinks that everything good that happens in the country is only because of Prime Minister, that bothers me. When Prime Minister has no problem giving name to a national stadium on his own name while he's alive, That bothers me. When nation is all involved in Ram temple, Ram Mandir, Diya Jalao, okay, that bothers me. To me, religion is a personal thing. Don't confuse it with national agenda. National agenda should focus on education, employment, growth, economy, inflation, health, environment, pollution. उसकी तो बात होती नहीं है. बात होती है हिंदू टेंपल की, बात होती है राम भगवान की. This is not how you build a modern nation. If Prime Minister is spending time in temples all the time, it bothers me. I would rather have him go to schools and libraries and scientific institutions and not visit lots of temples. Yeah. But that's my view. People have to decide how they feel about it.
Welcome back. That time of the year when parts of North India have been gripped by an intense cold wave. Temperatures have gone down, and with it, there's also been reports of dense fog. Here in the national capital, for example, it's led to flights once again being delayed. Nearly 100 flights today alone that were delayed or diverted to different locations, particularly early in the morning. We'll tell you about those updates in just a bit, but let me first round up for you all the images that came in of mishaps and first hit areas due to the cold wave. This video particularly is doing the rounds on social media where people can be seen actually looting chickens. This happened after a truck carrying chickens met with an accident due to fog on the highway in Agra. People immediately jumped in, not to help all of those who were stuck due to the accident, but to go ahead and loot the chicken. According to the owner, chickens, birds worth lakhs was actually stolen. Bageshwar district in Uttarakhand is in the grip of a cold wave. The severe frost that's been reported. Fog also affecting the plains as passers-by and locals were seen struggling. In Greater Noida too, the situation no different due to dense fog. Many vehicles going towards the Agra-Yamuna Expressway collided with each other. It also led to scores of people being injured. And unfortunately, many such accidents being reported. A bus also collided with an auto full of passengers due to dense fog, injuring 5 people. And if you're heading out for the holidays from the national capital, be warned if you're taking a flight, because flight services have been hit largely due to the dense fog. There is a fog warning that continues till December 31st, so you can expect delays and diversions to continue. Today alone, over 100 flights were delayed at the Delhi airport. There were many domestic and foreign flights, in all 110 flights that were affected due to the dense fog. There were many this morning. They were also diverted out of Delhi. So people who were expected to touch down in the national capital at, let's say, 7 a.m. actually reached Delhi only by about 3 in the afternoon, as a flight was diverted to other airports like Jaipur, and then they were brought to the national capital when visibility got better. Unfortunately, this is going to be the situation till December 31st, because the Met Department has warned that as part of the prevalent cold wave conditions, there will be dense fog also in the national capital. And that's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks very much for tuning in. Coming up on the other side, Preeti Chaudhary joins you on Mission 2024. She's also going to be getting you all the latest on the Ram Mandir construction. Gaurav Sawant's reports, detailed ones, showing you what the Ram Mandir complex looks like coming up.